All right, so gonna move into the PR gift portion. To start off, I just want to thank the companies that sent me anything. I'm always grateful to, be able to try new things and share them with you guys. It helps me and it also helps you guys if you're interested in any of the fragrances that I mentioned and you actually trust my opinion. So I just want to give an overall thanks to all the companies that reached out to send me these fragrances. So I'm gonna start with Luxador, and I want to show you guys this cute gift bag that the fragrances came in, but I left it. So I'm gonna grab that real quick. So when I received it, it came in a box, but it was in a box in this really nice little gift bag. So if you're buying the fragrance oils as a gift for somebody, that'd be perfect because you already get the gift bag with it. So I thought that was like super cute. But they are a fragrance oil company that is based in Switzerland, I believe. The fragrance oils came in this box. They sent me their tester set. This has been sitting around for a little. I've been trying them out and everything, so it has handprints, so don't mind that. And this is how they are, just laying up in there. So nice. So I did go through and test out the majority of these because, of course, I need to be able to give you guys my honest opinion on them. And for me, I usually find that fragrance oils tend to last longer on my skin, not necessarily project more. Sometimes they project quite a bit, other times not so much. I think it depends on both your skin temperature and then the temperature that you're in as well, whether or not it's gonna project more. Usually when you're warmer and it's warmer, at least for me personally, I find that fragrance oils project more then. So some of these project regardless, and then others I feel like didn't have the greatest projection, but the same ones that didn't have like the greatest projection were the same ones that probably wouldn't have the greatest projection in perfume form. So like the more fresh, like fruity fragrances or like citrus fragrances, those types of fragrances typically don't project crazily. And so yeah, those are the same ones here. But I'm not gonna go through and tell you which ones I tried out, not all of them. I'm just gonna mention a few. So first I'm gonna mention the ones that I'd already tested before, because I did pick out some fragrances that I've tried before just to compare and contrast, because some of these are impression fragrances. They do mostly impression fragrances, but then they do have some fragrance oils that are their own originals. I do have one of the originals. So the ones that I've tried before are La Nuit Trésor. And here are what the tubes look like. It's little black tubes, and then they have the name on the label. And tube says Luxador. They are opaque. I do wish that I could see through it, because one of these I know I have to be low on because I've been wearing it like crazy. And then the other one that I've tried before was Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. I actually own Lost Cherry. I don't think I told you guys that. That actually should be in this haul as well.
One eternity later.
I'm not gonna go grab it, but that should be in this haul as well, because I did haul Lost Cherry for my birthday. It's a birthday gift to myself, and I'm glad I did. I actually tried a sample of it, and I really loved it, surprisingly, because I didn't think I would, because I've never tried the original Lost Cherry, but I had always tried impression fragrances of it. So the ones that I tried, I was just like, like I liked them, but it wasn't like I needed them. And then one of them in particular kind of smelled like pickles to me. I didn't like that. So I was like, if Lost Cherry smells like that, then I don't want it. And I think it was the bitter almond note in that one that made it smell like that. I wasn't a fan. But then I tried the original, and no, it doesn't smell like pickles. The bitter almond note is there, but it just gives it more of a nutty, earthy depth to it. And so it's not just like a straight up cherry fragrance. But the most prominent note in Lost Cherry, even though the name is Lost Cherry, to me the most prominent note was the cherry liqueur note. I do feel like it started to die down a bit after about like the first hour, but I could still smell it. It was just blending more so with like that bitter almond note, and then it has a prominent vanilla note to my nose as well, because as it dries down it gets even sweeter and more creamy, and I'm so obsessed with it. I love it. I had to make myself stop wearing it because I put a massive dent in it quickly, because I was spraying it like crazy. I have the 50 ml bottle, by the way. I'll put a picture on the screen. But I've noticed that people have an issue mostly with the longevity of it. For me, it lasts long on my skin. I get 8+ hours of wear with Lost Cherry, but I will say it's not a huge projector, and I don't think it's meant to be a huge projector. I think it's one of those fragrances that is supposed to be like a come hither fragrance. It makes you want to come in and get more of a whiff. So I feel like it's more like seductive and alluring. That's how it's intended to be. And if it's projecting, what's gonna make you come in closer? Is you can smell it in the air. Like, you don't need to come in too close to smell it. You get what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about it, because I feel like it is sexy. My boyfriend loves Lost Cherry. So for me, the projection isn't horrible. It's not the greatest. I will agree that projection is not like the greatest for that. Within like the first hour, I'd say it projects moderately, and then after that, it's closer to the skin, and I'll get like occasional whiffs. So I got the Lost Cherry fragrance oil for one, and this is it right here. They all look the same, they just have like the different name on it. But I got it to see how close it was, basically, how close they were able to get their impression of it to smell. And then also to see if this would be able to increase the projection, because there is sometimes where I want other people to smell it on me, and you know, not just my boyfriend. So I will say this, to me, is almost a replica. It's like super close to the original Lost Cherry, and to me this is like the closest I've smelled to it of like the clones I've smelled. I've only smelled, I think, 2 clones though. One was from Be Layered, and the other one was from oh my gosh, I'm going blank. What is it called? Fragranza. Fragranza was the other company whose clone I tried. This is closer than both of those. I do feel like the cherry liqueur note is more prominent in the original, and I feel like that's a theme across all the clones I've tried. None of them can get that like exact and how prominent it is in the opening as the original does. I feel like this one goes straight to like the mid and the base, where I was telling you you can still smell it, but it's more blended with like the almond note and the vanilla, that type of thing. But I put this on after a shower one night, and my boyfriend was here, and he said he thought I had Lost Cherry. He didn't question it for a second. I did not layer it. I only had this on. So I do feel like this could help with the performance if you have like longevity issues, because to me this lasts until you wash it off, and I would say that for all of these, they have crazy longevity. So if you have longevity issues, I feel like this could help increase the longevity of it without interfering with the scent profile of the fragrance. And I feel like this projects more as well, and for longer. Like the whole time I wore this, I kept smelling it. I kept getting whiffs. It was continuous. So if projection is something that you have an issue with Lost Cherry as well, then you can layer this underneath it, and it'll help increase both longevity and the projection of the fragrance without changing the scent. And I know that's something that a lot of people, that's the reason why a lot of people don't like layering fragrances, basically, because they don't want to change the scent profile of the perfume that they're wearing. So being that these are fragrance oils, you can use them to create your own perfume. You can use them in diffusers because it's pure perfume oil. You can use them in lotions. So like for instance, if you want to layer this perfume oil with Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and you wanted to like have it like as an all over scent, you could mix this with like an unscented lotion and apply it to your skin that way. And I'm pretty sure the scent will last all day, and anywhere you smell it on yourself, it's gonna smell like Lost Cherry. I really enjoyed this one. I'm so glad I got this, because I definitely plan to use this to layer with my Lost Cherry. The La Nuit Trésor one, it smelled very similar to the original as well. Same sentiment and all. My boyfriend loved this one as well because he loves the original La Nuit. But I will say I feel like the original La Nuit, that strawberry note that's in it, at least to my nose and on my skin, I feel like it's a little bit more prominent in the perfume than it is in the perfume oil here. But you still smell it here. It's just like more toned down, and the other sweet notes like the vanilla, caramel, all that is still retained here. And I feel like this is a bit less smoky than the original is, so if that smokiness kind of turns you off from it, then this might be a better alternative. But I feel like that smokiness is what gives it that sex appeal, so I like it. But yeah, I was out of my La Nuit, so I was like, let me get that and see if it's similar, and then also just have it as like my replacement for the time being until I get another bottle of it. So love that. I definitely say that their perfume oils are worth trying out, especially if you're into perfume oils. So the tester set that I have here came with 10, and they have a bunch of different ones. Like they have a bunch of like different niche scents that they have impressions for. Like I have here Herba Pura, Bitter Peach as well, Mojave Ghost. Yeah, and then I also got one of their original ones. This one is Red Velvet. It reminds me of Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper by Kayali, if you've tried it. So kind of like a rose vanilla oud scent. That's what this reminds me of. So if you like Lancome's Oud Bouquet, those types of fragrances, then you probably like the Red Velvet scent. That's the only one that I got that was one of their originals, but I think they have like 3. And they do come in different sizes. And they're also super affordable, I think. For a 10 ml like roll-on fragrance oil, it's like $12. So I think that's pretty affordable, especially when you're getting the longevity and performance that you get from these fragrance oils. So I saved my favorite for last, and this is the one that I was referring to that inspired me to do another purchase. So this one is their impression of Chanel Chance Otandre. I feel like y'all can't see it. It's not focusing. Y'all, oh, I just love it so much. This has been having me in a chokehold. This and the original, because I did pick it up, as you can see. And I picked up another one that was supposed to be like a dupe for it, which is this one, the Finery Flower Bed fragrance. So starting with Luxador's version, I wore this, and when I tell you guys, I was obsessed. Like, this is so perfect for the weather here right now. It's been super hot. So I've been wanting to smell like fresh a lot of the time. Like fresh and clean, but also like girly and flirty. These are the vibes that you get with this. So it has this like zesty, tangy citrus note in the opening. And I kind of immediately felt like it smelled like grapefruit. I can't remember if grapefruit is a note that's in it, but it reminded me of grapefruit, but better. Because there was a bit of like a sweetness underneath as well. And I think it has like a, is it quince? I think that's how you pronounce it. Don't kill me. But I think it has that note. And I think that note is supposed to smell kind of like a combination of like a pear and an apple, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's where the sweetness is coming from. There is like a, almost like ripe pear scent as well that's underlying that grapefruit and gives it a bit more sweetness, because I'm typically not the biggest fan of like a grapefruit note or just grapefruit in general. I don't like how they taste. So that combination here to me is just so bomb. And this had me in such a chokehold. I'm like, I need the original. If the original smells like this, I need it. And since I had already tried the La Nuit and the Lost Cherry from Luxador, and they were like pretty spot on the impressions of those fragrances, I was like, there's a good chance that this one is too, which means that getting this would be a safe blind buy. But I still wanted to go to Ulta and actually try the fragrance, just in case, because you know sometimes they do differ. And like what I loved about this one, I wanted to make sure it was present in this. I get there and they don't even have a tester for it. Go figure, right? And so I was just like, you know what, forget it. My boyfriend and I were going to the beach, I think like the next day or so. So I was just gonna get the small bottle from Sephora, because the price difference between Sephora for this fragrance and Ulta was wild. So I was gonna go pick it up. My Sephora here didn't have any size of it available in stock in store, and I wanted it for my trip. So I started looking at reviews, and I remembered people compared Zara apple juice to this fragrance, and I was thinking, okay, we're going to the beach. They may have a Zara there somewhere that I can stop and pick up apple juice. We don't have a Zara where I live. So I'm reading through the apple juice reviews to see like how well of a dupe it is to this. And while looking through those reviews, somebody brought up this fragrance. And this is Finery Flower Bed. I think I already told you guys that. Take it out the box. So they mentioned that they enjoyed the Zara dupe, I believe, but they preferred this one. They felt like this one was a closer dupe to the Chanel Chance Otandre than the Zara one was. So look how cute the little bottle is too. So this is a Target brand, I believe. I mean, they sell it in Target. So I don't know if it's a Target brand or not. But once I saw that, I was like, let me check Target and see if they have it, because we do have a Target here. And so I went to my Target after I saw that it said they had it in stock, and I know my Target has some fragrances on display. This one was they had on display, so I wanted to go smell it before I picked it up. So I went in the store, smelled it, and I'm like, it's definitely not an exact dupe. This one, I feel like it smells a bit more floral, and it doesn't really have that tart, zesty, or like tangy grapefruit scent that I'm like obsessed with in this. It was close enough though. I just wanted to be able to spray the fragrance because this one I feel like doesn't have a huge projection. It does leave a scent trail though, because I got a compliment just wearing the fragrance oil by itself when I was wearing it to work. One of those many days that I wore it. Compliment and then asked me what I was wearing. It was one of those compliments. So it leaves a scent trail at the very least, but it doesn't project a whole lot, at least to my nose. Like I put it on and I might get a whiff here and there, but I don't feel like it has a strong projection, and I really just wanted to be able to like douse myself in it if I wanted to. So that's why I wanted to get something that I could spray. So I figured I could just layer these two together and get something similar to the Chanel. And then I also have like a grapefruit fragrance from Bath and Body Works. Grapefruit Rose, I believe. I've been loving layering that with all three of these because it just goes so perfectly, because it amplifies that grapefruit note that I'm obsessed with in these fragrances, or that's missing from this one, I should say. So this one on the back says it has notes of lush peony, green apple, and wild bamboo leaf. So it doesn't have that tangy, zesty grapefruit note. You can't smell it because it's not in there. Like, it doesn't exist. But beyond that, it does smell like if you stripped Chanel Chance Tendre of the grapefruit, I feel like this is what you would get. Something similar to this, because it does smell similar. So if you've been wanting the Chance, then this could be an alternative in the meantime. But I do feel like this has a musk note in it that's unlisted and it's pretty prominent in this fragrance, especially in the dry down. This is definitely a much more spot on impression of it, but this one definitely did what it was supposed to do. My boyfriend really liked this one too, because when I first wore it, he was like all in my neck. He was like, what is that? Is that something new? And he immediately realized it was like a floral fragrance. He was like, you should wear more floral fragrances. Ironically enough, that's my least favorite fragrance category. But I do like them like this when it's a fruity floral fragrance. And it's just not overly straight up floral. But these are definitely floral fragrances. But it's like that fresh floral scent to me. Like kind of like how peony smells. Just clean, more so than like overly floral. Almost like shampoo-y in a sense. That type of like freshness. But yeah, so then I got this from Mercari, and I did make sure it was a legitimate one, because you know people be selling fake Chanel fragrances, but the person I bought this from had purchased hers from Sephora, and she gave me a great deal. Shout out to her. It's about half full now, but when I got it, it was about 2/3 full. So I've increased the dent quite a bit because I've been wearing this one, and alternating between this one, like I said, and the Skylar Boardwalk Delight. I've been alternating between these two basically for the past at least month. It's been this one and that one, but mostly this one. And you know what's crazy? I kind of like how this one smells a bit more than the original does, because I feel like the grapefruit note is more pronounced in this one. I have layered them together, because same thing with this one, it doesn't project a whole lot. Like the first hour, I'd say you get pretty good projection. Like it's moderate, you can smell it, it's projecting, like other people can smell it for sure. And then after that is more close to the skin, and you get the occasional whiff. And longevity, about 6 hours for me for this one. This helps to increase the longevity of it. It does kind of help to increase the projection of this, because it has something it can grip onto, and when I heat up, it's gonna project more. But yeah, this is like the perfect fresh hot weather fragrance, because it's not overly sweet. Like, yeah, you have a bit of sweetness from the quince note, but the fresh, like floral, almost like soapy, shampoo-y aspect of it keeps it like light and clean and airy. And this is just like I feel like it's like a flirty, like girly fragrance, but also still like classy and sophisticated. Just not too serious though. I hope I'm making sense. And this is another one of those fragrances that smells like perfume to me. Not overly, but it does smell perfumey, but in the best way possible. I put this one down since I've gotten the real thing. I would still recommend this. And then, like I said, you don't want to pay the price point for this, because it's pricey. Everybody knows Chanel's will be pricey. Then I do think that it is a good alternative, though I think the fragrance oil is a much better alternative. So again, thank you Luxador for sending those over, because had they not, I wouldn't have discovered this beauty, at least not anytime soon. Let's move on because I talked way too long about that. All right, so I'm gonna try to not take as long on these next ones. So the next fragrance that was sent to me is from 502 Fragrances, and this is their signature femme fragrance. And this is actually by a fellow YouTuber. He reached out and wanted to let me try his feminine fragrance from his line. I think he came out with 2 fragrances. One was a men's version and one was a female version. But he mentioned that he feels like this one is unisex though. So here is what the bottle looks like. Red, I think it's really nice. I really enjoyed this one. When I first got it, I was wearing it like every day. If you like La Vie est Belle by Lancome, I feel like you would really enjoy this one. They're not exact, there is a difference. This one to me smells like it has something like more fruity. I can't pinpoint the fruit though, but there's something a bit more fruity about this one. It's tart, zesty, tangy. It smells like it has like a more pronounced like citrus note. And then the underlying sweet notes gives it like this sugary scent, but it smells luxe at the same time. So just think about like La Vie est Belle, but like niche, like a more like fancy version of La Vie est Belle. I feel like my mom, her signature scent is La Vie est Belle. I feel like she would love this because it's in that same family. I'll say that. But I prefer this to La Vie est Belle because y'all know I have an issue with La Vie est Belle. I think it's the patchouli note in La Vie est Belle mixed with the sweet notes for me that I don't like just love all the time. And then also like the powderiness. The powderiness that's in La Vie est Belle, not here. And I think this does have patchouli too, but it's nowhere near as pronounced. This to me focuses more so on those sweet notes. And in the opening you get that tangy citrus, but as it dries down, mostly what you're getting is just that sweetness, and it just smells so good. I definitely think it's worth trying out for sure. I think it was a good addition to my collection because I don't have anything in my collection that smells like it. I don't own La Vie est Belle, but I feel like if I did, I would probably end up decluttering La Vie est Belle and keeping this. And I kind of want to look up the notes, so I'm gonna do that so I can tell you y'all what the notes are that are in this. Oh, and it's on sale right now. So he has a sale right now. They usually retail for $130, and this is on sale right now for $80. Or buy 2 bottles for $50 each. So if you get the men's fragrance and the women's fragrance, or just 2 of one of them, you only have to pay $100. Okay, so okay, that's why it's more fruity. It has a lot more fruity notes. It makes sense. So I was thinking apricot, but I did not say it, and I don't know why I didn't say it. That's crazy. But anyway, top notes: apricot accord, peach accord, lemon from Argentina, and bergamot from Italy. The heart notes are rose centifolia, absolute, and peony accord. And the base notes are musk, vanilla, cotton candy, and patchouli, Indonesian patchouli. Cotton candy in the base. That makes so much sense because remember I say like it had like this sugary, sweet element to it. It makes sense. The cotton candy with that vanilla, you definitely get that. It smells so good. But yeah, when he reached out to me and asked me to try it out, of course I said yes because I like to help my fellow YouTubers wherever I can. He told me he had seen some of my videos and he really enjoyed them, and he told me about his channel and how he started. He's done all of this on his own. He started his own fragrance company. He crafted the fragrances himself. So if y'all want to support, I definitely recommend. If you like La Vie est Belle, I do think you would like this, just for a point of reference. I haven't tried the men's version though, so I don't know exactly what that smells like. But for 2 for $100, if you have a boo, this one smells good, so I'm sure the men's fragrance smells good as well. But yeah, again, that is Signature Femme by 502 Fragrances, which is also by Justin Thomas here on YouTube. And I will have his channel linked down below as well, so y'all can go check out his video on it and how he describes it and all that good stuff. So the next one that was so graciously sent to me is by Initio, and it is Atomic Rose. I know y'all see me like cheesing down over here. And this was a Christmas gift, I believe, from Twisted Lily. Y'all know I am an affiliate for Twisted Lily, and I do have a coupon code with them. It's tuh-KAH-ruh 10, I'm pretty sure, if you're interested in anything on their site. But they sell niche fragrances, authentic niche fragrances. So that was just the sleeve, my bad, I already took it off. So here's the box, look at that. I just love the purple with the gold. Is this purple? It's like a dark purple. And it's just sitting here so beautifully. And then it has like the fragrance card in there too. I'm pretty sure I sampled Atomic Rose in a niche fragrance sampling video. So I told you guys my feelings on it there, but I don't even remember what I told y'all, honestly. But I'm gonna tell you now how I'm feeling about it now. So as the name implies, it is a rose-centered fragrance. Rose is the most prominent note in this. So just for like a frame of reference, to me, this smells like that rose note that you get in the Delina fragrances, that velvety, rich, like luxe rose note. That note is here. The sweetness in it as well kind of reminds me of like the sweetness in Delina Exclusive, but without that lychee note. And the lychee note in Delina Exclusive is what makes me just not love that fragrance. I feel like that's what prevents me from getting it, honestly, because I find it off-putting and too much sometimes because it's just like bam in your face. It's a lot. To me, that's the most prominent note along with the vanilla, and I feel like the lychee with the vanilla to my nose they don't mesh well. They make me feel stick together. So I like that it's not in this fragrance, but it still has like that tart, like juicy element that you get from both Delina and Delina Exclusive. Almost like there was a rhubarb note in this. But this as well, to me, reminds me of Baccarat in a sense as well, because I feel like it has like a ambery, musky, woody scent as well underneath like that rose and that tart juicy scent as well, and that sweetness with that vanilla. To me, reminds me of what you would get if you combine those elements from like the Delina fragrances and the ambery, musky woodiness that you get from Baccarat, and it's amazing. Now, this is a beast. It says it's an eau de parfum, but I feel like this acts like an extrait. You don't need more than 1 or 2 sprays of this, period. I don't care when you choose to use it. I would not do 2 sprays like when it's hot. Honestly, for me, I feel like this is a bit much when it's hot outside. Springtime, yes, I could wear it springtime, but I feel like this is more for me. I feel like fall time, I would love wearing this. And then also I think winter would do well as well. It might not be as sweet in wintertime, but I feel like it could work. So spring, fall, and winter. Summer, if you choose to, because it does have like the rose and then the fruitiness, I would recommend like nighttime or like doing like half a spray if you're gonna wear it during the day, because I feel like it could become overwhelming to not only you but to others around you because it's so strong. But I do really enjoy this fragrance, and I'm so thankful they sent this to me. It was random too. I didn't know what they were gonna send me. They just asked me for some that I was interested in, and they picked one and they gifted it to me. I was so excited when I saw this one. I will have their website linked down in the description box, as well as my coupon code if any of you guys are interested in anything off the site and want a little bit of a discount. Okay, so next, a new company reached out and wanted to send me some fragrances over. They did send me some samples of, I think, all of their fragrances. And then when they reached out again to see how I liked everything, and I told them which one was my favorite, they wanted to send me a full-size bottle. So that was so sweet, because I was not expecting them to do that, honestly. But this is by Viva More Parfums, and this is Crème Exquise. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this might be like a sister company to Novatus, which I have some fragrances from Novatus as well that I'm gonna share with you guys. But I believe that's how the rep found me, through Novatus. So here is what the box looks like, and here is it sitting in there in all its beauty. I have been using the travel spray they sent me, so I don't think I've used this yet, but I love the bottle. It's so pretty. And then, you know, they have their cards. Well, Novatus does. I think they are a sister company because it's kind of like how the Novatus cards are. So the notes on here are top notes: Brazilian orange, iris, and black cherry accord. Heart notes: floral orchid, caramel, and chocolate. And base notes are Tahitian vanilla, coffee, honey, oak treat absolute, and Ceylon cinnamon. So don't those notes sound just bomb.com? I think this was one of the ones I was most excited to try out. I think there were some other ones that I was more excited to try out, but this one surprised me and I loved it. Now I do feel like it is unisex. I feel like most of their fragrances are unisex, but a lot of them I felt were like more masculine leaning. I feel like this one, once it dries down, because in the opening it smells just straight unisex, but I feel like once it dries down it smells more feminine leaning, because I feel like you start getting more of that fruitiness in combination with like the chocolate notes. The chocolate is very prominent. It makes me happy, and the cinnamon as well, because you got like a little spiciness. It kind of burnt my nose just then. And then you also smell those fruity notes as well. So think those orange flavored chocolates that are like shaped like little orange wedges with a bit of cinnamon spice and then on a woody base. That's what this smells like. And I feel like on my skin it gives like, because here it still smells unisex to me, but on my skin I feel like my skin amplified the fruity notes and it smelled more feminine, because when I was wearing it, the way it smelled in the air to me, because it did kind of smell like this up close, but in the air to me it kind of gave me vibes of like Kenzo flower L'Elixir, that like makeup powdery but sweet fruity scent. That's the vibe it gave me in the air, but I need to wear it again because it doesn't smell like the Kenzo right here on this paper. But I think when I first tried it on the paper too, I was like, oh, I'm probably not gonna like that, but while I was wearing it, it was just changing and changing and changing. This is definitely one that's complex. It does not stay how you smell it originally. Like when you first sniff it, it changes. It changes. It has different phases, to where like you'll be sitting there and because the performance is amazing, but you'll be sitting there and you'll get a whiff and you're just like, what is that? It smells so good. Because it smells so different from what you were smelling earlier, but it smells so good. And then I realized, like, wait, that's probably my fragrance. And then I sniffed and yep, that was it. So I definitely think this is worth trying out. They have, I think they sell sample sets. So if there were like other ones you were interested in, then you can just like sample them first before committing to a full bottle. And last but not least, I am moving into some fragrances that were sent to me from Nabatus. And I've had these for a while, so they've definitely been used. So the first one I have here, I took the sleeves off of them, but here's what their boxes look like. Don't mind that. I don't know how that happened. And then the fragrance sits inside the box like this, and they have their card as well. Now this one was a collaboration with Monica Choke. I hope I'm not butchering her name. And this one is The Embrace. I love the bottle. Gold accents with this looks like garnet, my alma mater's color. So for this one, it says it's intense, addictive, and seductive. And this is a gourmand fragrance, just FYI. The top notes are a bitter orange, Indian sesame absolute, and South African almond. The heart notes are honey accord and coffee absolute. And the base notes are Haitian vetiver, Virginian cedarwood, and Madagascar vanilla. Y'all, my boyfriend is obsessed with this fragrance. It has him in a chokehold. Like, he always wants to spray it on. He don't care what time of the year it is. And this is a very like strong, dense, gourmand fragrance in my opinion. I like it too, but me and honey have a weird relationship. Like, I don't like honey when it's like syrupy, I guess, in a fragrance. I don't know why either, because I love honey in real life, but in a fragrance sometimes it could be a lot. Here this smells like your like realistic honey scent, like you like went and like got fresh honey off of a honeycomb yourself and poured it over some sesame seeds. The sesame note I feel like is the most prominent, and followed closely behind is the honey note. So it's like that syrupy, like animalic, almost waxy honey note mixed with like that savory nutty scent from the sesame, and it gives it like a saltiness, and it keeps it from being overly sweet. The honey here to me, even though it's like that like drippy, like fresh from the comb, the honeycomb scent, I don't feel like it's overly sweet here. I feel like this scent is more savory than it is sweet, and it's gourmand in that way. I feel like that makes this like a super unique fragrance, because it's rare that you find a fragrance where, yeah, it's gourmand because it does smell edible, but the more savory notes are the more pronounced notes than are like the sweet notes, because usually when we hear gourmand, we automatically think sweet. This is gourmand in the sense that, yeah, it smells edible, but that nuttiness is like bam in your face. And I feel like it's like straight up unisex. It doesn't smell more masculine or more feminine. It's just like Anybody who wants to smell like this, you won't get it and be like, oh, this smells too masculine or this smells too feminine. It just smells like how I described it smells. And it does have, you know, all those other notes in it as well, but I told you these are the notes that I smell the most. I believe when I wore it on my skin, I did pick up on that bitter orange as well, and kind of just added like a bit of a citrus element as well to it. Nice, very unique. She did a great job with it. And the next one I have is in collaboration with Monica Choke as well, and this one is Carte Blanche. It's the card that came with it. And the top notes for this one are Sicilian bergamot, Agreste accord, Guatemalan cardamom, and Indian mandarin. The heart notes are grilled almonds, driftwood, benzoin, and Java vetiver. And the base notes are Peru balsam, Madagascar vanilla, Indonesian patchouli, ambergris, and musk. And here's what this one looks like. This one I think is targeted to men. I think this one is the one that she considered the more masculine one, but I felt like it was unisex as well. Now, I did not like this when I first smelled it because the top notes, and I believe it's the cardamom. I'm not a big fan of cardamom. It gives this like earthy herbal scent that I don't really care for. And to me, I don't know why when I first smelled this, I thought there was oud in it. The cardamom kind of reminded me of oud. I think that's what I was smelling. But as it dried on the skin, you get more of the fruitiness. And I think they're, oh, what was it? Like, it's Agreste accord. I think that was like a, what did they say? What kind of berry was it? Like a dewberry note or something?
Nope.
I can't recall, but I remember looking it up. And I feel like on my skin, that was pretty prominent. It had like this like juicy but tart fruitiness, almost like how I imagine like a sour grape to smell. I started to get that more so. The cardamom was still there, but it had died down a bit and was more so in the background. So I had got that more on my skin, and then as it dried down even more, I got a bit more sweetness from like the vanilla note on me. This is another one my boyfriend really liked as well. If that sounds interesting to you and you're a woman, you could wear this as well, because I don't smell anything that makes this smell overly masculine to me. And this one smells unique as well. I haven't smelled anything that smells like this. And last but not least, also by Novitus, is Creme Imperial. It's a collaboration with CJ City here on YouTube. And CJ actually reached out to me and wanted me to try these. He had sent over some samples before I think they were even released for me to try out and give feedback on. And so I did that for him, and then the company reached out and wanted to send me full-size bottles of them. So I had this one, Creme Imperial. Love the bottle, and I feel like it's so perfect for the type of fragrance that this is. But also they had sent me Champagne Royale as well, and I don't have that one anymore. I've gifted it. That one is like the perfect men's signature scent. It just smells so bomb, and it's appropriate year-round, but it's gonna perform now. All of these from Novitus, you don't have to worry about performance. That's a given. You don't want to spray too much. That's what you need to be worried about. This one I feel like was the more unisex of the two. That one was definitely more masculine. This one is gourmand, like super gourmand. So think creme brulee, but on a woody base. Like if you were to cook it on like wood planks, how it would taste. That's what this gives, because it has that creamy, smooth, caramelized sweetness from that creme brulee note. But the woodiness is also very prominent to my nose as well. This is another one that has my boyfriend in a chokehold, and this was definitely my fave for myself because I felt like it was unisex. If you like sweet, woody scents, then I feel like you would really enjoy this one. So just to list off the notes that are here, since we have the card. The top notes are Sicilian lemon, Indian jasmine. Heart notes are plum, iris, Turkish rose, Ceylon cinnamon, and Egyptian geranium. When I smell something a bit spicy, I usually kind of like associate that with the woodiness as well. But I think the cinnamon may be in that little nose tickle that I'm getting here. So think, like I said, creme brulee, somehow cooked on woody planks and sprinkled with a bit of cinnamon. And there you go. Oh, and the base notes are velvet, jasmine accord, guaiac wood, Laotian benzoin, and Virginian cedar wood. So I think that Laotian, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry y'all. That benzoin note is probably what's the most prominent to my nose. and there are several woody notes, but guaiac wood typically smells like smoky to me. So I feel like I'm smelling more so the cedar wood in this, because when I think wood planks, like freshly sawed wood, it's kind of what cedar wood smells like to me. I don't really get many of the other notes. I don't get the fruity notes much at all, honestly, in this, to me. But it could be like the plum, for instance, could be helping to assist with like that sweetness. And Champagne Royale was like the more like fresh daytime version of that. This one is more like seductive, like addicting, alluring, deep. Your sexy like nighttime scent, or just like cool cold weather fragrance. But I imagine this for nighttime wear for sure. I noticed recently that I tend to give like little mini story times sometimes in my fragrance videos, but that's just how I am. If you're still here, I'm sure that means you love how I am. But yeah, that is all for this video, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.